Coming up in the news, Tropical Storm Elsa has now become a hurricane, but will this storm have an impact on the Bahamas? Also, BTC CEO says the company has improved service since Hurricane Dorian. And the country's top cop addressing West End Police Station substandard conditions. The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Good evening, Bahamas. I'm Shashina Wolf-Arkeson. As always, it is so great to have you with us. Topping news this evening, the first hurricane of the 2021 season, Hurricane Elsa, formed this morning and is on track to impact islands in the Caribbean Sea and Florida. According to the National Hurricane Center, Elsa, currently a Category 1 hurricane with wind speeds between 74 and 95 miles per hour. Elsa is the earliest Atlantic storm on record. Tonight, local officials are advising everyone to continue to monitor the movement of Hurricane Elsa.
At 5 p.m., the center of Hurricane Elsa was located near latitude 14.2 degrees north and longitude 63.7 degrees west, or about 505 miles southeast of Santo Domingo in the Dominican Republic, and about 1,280 miles southeast of Freeport. Elsa is moving toward the west near 30 miles per hour, and a general west or slightly north of west track is expected through Saturday. Thereafter, a decrease in forward speed is forecast early Sunday as Elsa is expected to turn to the northwest. Maximum sustained winds are near 85 miles per hour with higher gusts, and little change in strength is forecast. However, slow weakening is expected once Elsa starts to interact with the Greater Antilles Saturday afternoon into Monday morning. Looking ahead, Elsa should continue on a west to northwest track over the next 36 to 48 hours. Thereafter, a turn to the northwest is expected. On its forecast track, Elsa is forecast to be south of Hispaniola on Saturday afternoon, over southwest Cuba on Sunday afternoon, northwest Cuba on Monday afternoon, and moving north-northwest across the East Gulf of Mexico Monday night into Tuesday evening. At this moment, based on the projected path, Elsa should not directly impact our islands. However, it should be noted that storms wobble, so any jog to the right will inch Elsa closer to our islands, although this appears to be very unlikely. However, Sunday into Tuesday, we can expect some passing showers and gusty winds, particularly in the central and southeastern islands and Turks and Caicos, as Elsa passes to our south. Residents ought to be listening to news items and forecasts issued by the Bahamas Department of Meteorology, Freeport, and Nassau office in the event there is a shift in the storm's track.
Well, another hurricane season brings back memories of what many had to endure in 2019 during Hurricane Dorian. One of the major issues experienced during the worst storm to hit the Atlantic Ocean was the inability to communicate with family members. Many voiced their disappointment with BTC, the country's premier telecommunications company. But tonight, the chief executive officer speaks with ZNS about what has been done to ensure what happened in 2019 never happens again. Many Bahamians who experienced Hurricane Dorian back in 2019, the worst storm to hit the Atlantic Ocean at over 185 miles per hour, remain traumatized by the ordeal. Just before, during, and after the storm, there were many who were on the BTC network who were unable to communicate with family members impacted by the monstrous storm. The country's oldest telecommunications company was criticized for its poor service, but CEO Andre Foster contends that there were many lessons learned from Hurricane Dorian, and the company has invested this time around to ensure better resiliency.
Certainly Dorian was one of the 100-year storm, and certainly our performance in certain areas was not as optimal as we would have liked it to be, but we've invested to make sure that we don't have those same experiences in the next 100-year storm.
He adds that they are already showing customers how they are preparing.
Within our parent company, within Liberty Latin America, America, BTC is probably one of the best skilled groups when it comes to disaster recovery and also from a preparation perspective. Now, especially given that the fact we're in a pandemic and you've got limitations around people moving, certainly, we have huge supply chain constraints. We've taken a proactive approach to make sure we have material on the ground, and we have containers that are here that allow us to rapidly restore an area should there be an impact.
The CEO says it comes with a tower built in and ready to deploy infrastructure.
And in fact, here in McLeanstown was one of our first sites that we actually deployed these new solutions that is much more independent, so it relies more on solar and a small generator rather than on commercial power.
And despite the challenges of the past, Foster is adamant that they are seeing where some customers who switched to Alive are coming back.
No, we see customers coming back home, especially on the fixed side of our business, and certainly on the mobile side. We continue to be very competitive in the market. Our FMC, our fixed mobile convergence product, is aimed directly at making sure persons have the greatest value. So as I said, $50 a line for an unlimited postpaid plan, which includes roaming, which includes unlimited data usage, as well as voice and text. It's a plan that can't be matched in the market.
Foster contends that they may be the oldest telecommunications company in the country, but they are operating under modern means.
I would say, look, BTC is really focused on showing that we've kind of turned the corner, that we are a new company, and that we're not your father's telecom company. We're actually a new breed of a telecommunications provider that's focused on giving the greatest value and coverage. Like I said, a 360 coverage for our folks who want to have that experience.
Well, in other news, an official ceremony was held this morning at the Orlando House on Queens Highway, marking the official launch of the Leadership Esteem Ability Discipline Institute. It is a training organization that has been around for more than a decade, focusing on assisting at-risk youth. Jamila Mizik reports.
The LEAD Institute officially launching its program in the Northern Bahamas. The opening ceremony taking place at LEAD's office on Grants, Bahama, in the Orlando House building on Queens Highway. LEAD Institute President and CEO Troy Clark noting that LEAD's goal is to ensure that every Bahamian who requires pre- and post-correctional facility assistance or is deemed at risk is supported and equipped to take on the world and make a meaningful contribution wherever they live.
What is the price of the lack of investment, skills training, and rehabilitation? What is the price of those who want to leave their past behind and positively contribute to their families and society? The cost is undoubtedly too high for our country. Today, we take another step. The LEAD Institute is in the business of transforming lives, advancing leadership potential, and enhancing the skill sets of a community often left to flounder.
Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture, the Honorable Aram Lewis, and Minister of State for Finance and Grants Bahama, the Honorable Kwesi Thompson, delivering remarks. Minister Thompson noting that in order for the program to be successful, a partnership between all of the relevant agencies is necessary for the impact the LEAD Institute will have on Grants Bahama.
If I can help somebody as I travel along, if I can help somebody with a word or a song, if I can show somebody that they are doing wrong, then my living shall not be in vain. And I will tell you, based on the course that you are on now, your living will indeed not be in vain. I again congratulate you for bringing this very important international now organization to the island of Grand Bahama. And I wish you success in every area that you seek.
It is important that we continue to develop and to develop and modernize our effective policies. And we have, as was said, to work together. The government has to play its part to provide social support, to provide economic empowerment. The family has to provide its support when it comes to spiritual and moral. And then we have the community, where the church and community groups and civic groups like yourselves have to also come together.
Keynote speaker, leader of Bahamas Harvest Church, Pastor Mario Moxie, speaking on the theme, Saving Our Communities.
Without vision, people perish. Without a revelation, without foresight, without having foreknowledge of a thing. The scripture actually says people cast off restraints. That means there's no boundaries. The difference between a swamp and a river is that a river have boundaries and a swamp doesn't. That's why the water in the river moves at a rapid pace. And you put anything in the middle of that river, it'll move it out of the way because it has energy, it has power, it has determination. That's what a river does. But the water in the swamp is stale and stagnant, and oftentimes it stinks. You can't do anything with that. A person whose life has vision is transformed by the vision, is transformed by the preferred future that they see of themselves, that someone has been able to inspire in them. That's the purpose of LEAD. That's why LEAD exists, to inspire young men. And then thirdly, Jesus taught us the first thing was compassion, the second thing was leadership, and the third thing is teamwork.
Now Pastor Mario Moxie blessed and anointed the facility, followed by the cutting of the ribbon, officially opening the newest LEAD office on Grants, Bahama. Jamila Missick, ZNS Network News.
The Commissioner of Police, Paul Roll, giving an update on the status of the West End Police Station. This coming following reports that officers stationed there continue to work under substandard conditions, including a malfunctioning air-conditioned system, mold, and termites. And the fair is that the building, which also has a housing quarters, is not structurally sound, particularly during the passing of a storm.
We've had the engineers from Ministry of Works to go in, have a look at it, and we have sent out an RFP for work and the scope of work to be done. So that is going to be at some point, once we have all of those, and then we send it out to tenders. That will then go into cabinet for approval for the work to be prepared. When that work goes on, the station will have to be closed because the extent of the wear and tear on that building is not suitable for persons to be working it when the work is going on.
3 inspections by Ministry of Works has already taken place. Initial reports suggest that the concrete of the upper floor slab has deteriorated to the point where pieces have fallen. But Roll says there is a plan to move the officers soon.
We're have to identify another location. I'll be in Grand Bahama sometime next week, along with the Assistant Commissioner and team down there, and we'll scour out. And while I speak, if someone in the western area has a building that they believe is suitable for the police station, you can let me know. And when I get down there next week, I'll be more than happy to come and take a look at it.
Now, it has been recommended that the building should be demolished because the cost to repair exceeds what it would cost to rebuild. Tourism officials on Grand Bahama excited about the return of the Adventure of the Seas. Although it has only been less than 1 month since the return of the cruise ship, vendors in both the Port Lucaya Marketplace and the downtown fruit and vegetable market are already seeing the economic benefits.
Fridays on Grand Bahama now mean the return of tourists via the Adventure of the Seas. The first stop for the guests, the downtown fruit and vegetable market, which was buzzing with activity. From there, tourists are bussed to the Port Lucaya Marketplace. General Manager of Tourism Stephen Johnson says he is always pleased to see the doors of businesses open, ready to welcome in tourists. Now this week, the cruise ship will make a second stop to the island on Sunday.
You know, we're all churchgoers, and I'm a church guy. And we don't want to interfere with the church. But you asked us for business, we're giving it to you. We're asking the people at Port Lucaya to open, the straw vendors, the stores. Also, we met with the vendors market in the downtown area, as well as the arts and craft market downtown. They're excited about the business they've been getting with the Royal Caribbean Cruise Line, and they will be open. And we just give thanks for the business we're getting in Grand Bahama. I know not everybody's not getting what they want right now, but believe me, have faith in this Grand Bahama product that is happening.
This Sunday is also recognized as the United States Independence Day. Johnson says he's hoping to see the marketplace filled with a mix of Bahamian culture and tourists.
I have a meeting right now with Mr. Moss, the general manager here, and I'm saying to him, we need a live band. We need people walking around in junket costume just to take Instagrammable pictures. I'd also like to see the police in hard hats out here. I want to see some atmosphere, some culture. What's said about the Grand Bahama Port, unlike Nassau, is that we don't have enough activities, and so we're just trying to really boom it up. And you're going to see some different things happening in Grand Bahama.
Down at the fruit and vegetable market, public relations manager for the Ministry of Agriculture, Quinta Forbes, says they are elated that business is once again picking up in a major way.
The vendors are elated. They're excited. Feeling of euphoria in the environment because now they understand that change is about to come as it relates to tourists visiting the island and this facility. I encourage vendors to come out. I encourage vendors to give the tourists a new experience, give them an enjoyable, a memorable experience. I'm saying to tourists that, hey, if we want this to work, we must be present, we must be here.
How many stores are occupied?
Currently, the 24 stores occupied. We have with us now Bush Tea. We have some new vendors that's joining the team. So we're giving we're giving the tourists a diversity of shopping experience.
Now, Johnson is reminding residents to continue to do their part in combating the global pandemic.
A lot of exciting things planned for them. And so we're just asking people to stay positive. Don't get caught up with anybody coming into your establishments, visitors. Make sure they have their masks on, make sure they sanitize, and doing everything else that the health officials. I just wanted to say a special thank you to Dr. Bartlett and his team for really going overboard. We have information sessions on now to the entire tourism industry, again giving them an update on COVID. As you know, there's a very dangerous variant out in Canada and the US that's hanging around. And so let's not get too comfortable.
Megan Shepard, ZNS Network News.
Awesome news there. Stay with us. We'll be back in just a moment.